Hello crafting friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Barbara Radzevicius and I'm Bondi Fibre Crafter. I have a lot of interesting things to talk about this week. It's been a funny week actually with the weather. I'll give you my weather report first. It's been pouring rain day and night, then a sunny day, and I thought, oh, great day to do the wash. I'll do it tomorrow. It's rainy and cloudy again. And then we had a dust storm in the middle of it all. You know, that red dust that comes from central Australia came and landed here. And it was all over the Sydney Basin, out to the ocean and everywhere. So yeah, weather-wise, getting to winter really. I have a couple of footage of the dust storm and generally things that I'm interested in the weather-wise. Knitting-wise, my cardigan is coming along. I would like to say fabulously, but we're up to the sleeves, and you know how tricky sleeves are with me. So it is beautiful. Love the pattern. It's a retro pattern. And we'll have more of that also. And my daughter Geordie is modelling it for me. She is a couple of sizes, well, a lot of sizes smaller than me, but everything looks great on her. But I've also compared it with, not compared, but shown how it looks on a size 18 also. That's me. So smaller top and bigger bottom. I say I'm a cello. That is my cardigan. I just hope it works out because it is so soft and so wintry comfy. It's all from Holst Super Soft and Holst Luca. Cactus and willow are the colours, and it's so beautiful, and we will talk about that shortly. With the patchwork, so my patchwork also is coming along. I've got 80 geese cut and sewn, and when we did the calculations, John is better at calculating things logically than I am for the blocks. I need a few more, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to do a few more geese or half geese and half a block of colour, but we'll see how that goes, and I am hoping for the best. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, but I hope, you know, you can't really go wrong with it. It's just I've decided on the block setting, and yeah, love birds. But I've also decided on the next flying geese quilt that I'm going to make, and it's going to be K facet. I have made a K facet flying geese, but I want a different setting, this setting, and with black as the background. So can't wait to start doing that, but I want to do more to this one first. And the English paper piecing quilt that I'm working on, that I want mainly the top done by September. We have another medallion done. I love it. Is it up the right way? Nearly. I think the colours in it are just beautiful. So this one's all different colours, but an eclectic one, we'll say. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you know that we need 7 to make a giant flower, and that's going to be the center of the quilt. I've already decided on the center. It's a red one. So this is coming along really nicely. It does take time. It's nice slow stitching, so perfect for winter. And I have one acquisition, which is a PDF. I got Nordic Bloom. I've been waiting for this to come out as a PDF for a fair while, and the only way it was available was in a book, and the book was quite expensive. It was like £40 without postage to here in Australia, and that is like $80, but the PDF is perfect, and I think I will try and make a cardigan. I love Caitlin Hunter, and we'll see how we go with that, but you know, still to go. So that's something more to talk about. And also with the geese, when you cut it, you have little pieces left over. These are the salvages. I like to collect salvages, and I make quilt tops from them. My small thing. But you end up with a whole lot of little triangles, little geese. I'm going to make another quilt from the little geese. So that is a win-win thing, and I have a whole box of them just waiting. Oh, so exciting. I love doing this sort of work. So I mainly do knitting and quilting on this channel. If you like this type of content, friends, and I hope you do, because you are here with me, and please like and subscribe. It all helps. It helps my channel grow. I am not competitive as such. I am competitive with myself more. And I like to see, I like to see things grow and numbers grow, but that's not the purpose of my channel. My channel is to share what I love doing and what you love doing too. That's knitting and quilting. Quilting and knitting. So yeah, it's a perfect combination, isn't it? Especially when you live in a cold climate. This is a Mediterranean climate, so I can't knit things with really thick wool. I'd say DK is the thickest wool I would like to go, but sometimes, you know, if you can get a, say 10 ply, which is a worsted, but on the DK side, but I do like using that too, especially the Donegal soft, so you know. So yeah, our knitting and quilting depends on the climate zone we live in, doesn't it really? Because you can't wear really warm things in a hot climate or a warm climate year round, but in a cold climate, ooh, you can. So yeah, climate driven projects. So I hope you join me this week, and we'll see how we go. I think we'll go over and visit Judith tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I hope to have a chat with Judith about her collecting. And it's nearly the end of May, and I wanted to get the whole section of collecting and why we collect fabric and yarn into May. I don't know why. I just thought, you know, it would make it a compartment of activity and something to talk about, collecting, and we all love collecting. And yeah, I think we'll go and visit Judith tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be raining, but I can always get dropped off, so that should be fun too. And yeah, so we'll go and see Judith tomorrow. The flying geese. I've seriously been thinking about the settings for the geese and how I want the blocks to look. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with this pattern. So 2 going this way, 1 going that way. So 4 and 4. I think that looks really nice. I've got 80 birds cut already, and I will need a lot more. So 8 geese for each block. I think it'll look great. I haven't tried this setting before. Usually I have them in lots of 2s. So this will be something different. Can't wait to see how it looks. I also saw one with a black where the blue is, and it looked really, really attractive, and all different coloured geese. I think that might be the next one. But for now, blue and white. I might need some different colours, but I don't think so. I think I'll just cut out what I have left and carry on. It's Friday, beautiful sunny day, and I'm off to see my friend Judith. We're going to have a chat about her quilts and why she likes collecting fabrics and quilts, making quilts. Should be fun. Come on in with me. Hi Judith, we're visiting Judith today, my best friend, my quilting buddy, and she is going to talk about her quilts, why she likes to make a specific type of quilt, and why she collects fabrics.
Well, I tend to like quilts that are easy and that I can use yardage and layer and slice. So this one, for instance, I made, this is the 4th quilt from a layer and slice, 2 of them with this grey in it and 2 of them without, and it was just a question of layer the yardage, slice it up into bits, shuffle, sew, cross cut. So that's one sort that I make. And here's one of the other quilts in that series, which you can see this is the other one with that grey in it, and waiting to be quilted.
It's a nice size too.
Yeah.
Nice back. Love the back colour. And the binding is perfect.
And this is kind of concentric. It's a bit like Trip Around the World, except that there's 4 in the center instead of 1, which means that instead of having like a diamond shape, you get a bit more of a rounded diamond shape, kind of like slightly octagonal. So sometimes I just have some leftovers and then I have to do stuff with them. So I had one strip of this puppy fabric and I just joined it up with some other random strips that are on my table because I don't always get around to putting away my bits.
Is that fabulous?
And then yeah, so this one's going to be a mug rug, and then I turn the rest of it into a quilt.
Lovely.
With more leftover bits that were just lying on my table. This purple and actually this spotty purple, they're both from backing fabrics. So I actually had large pieces of both of them, and I could have done the spotty fabric on the outside, but because I've got pieces that are long but not very wide. So yeah, I chose this one.
Is there a size you like to make more than others?
I tend to make small quilts most, sort of like baby quilts or lap quilts, but I do sometimes make bigger quilts.
Very big quilts.
Well,
occasionally.
Not enormous. Sometimes I do like a double bed quilt.
They seem big when you quilt them.
But I was making
love the greens.
Yeah,
Judith has a
I
nice collection of
had
greens.
a selection of greens, which are going to become a jacket when I get around to quilting them. But because I had a hernia operation, I haven't actually done any quilting for a bit. I've done some piecing since, but no quilting.
Oh,
so,
they're beautiful. So why were you collecting greens?
because green is her favourite fabric and she wanted a quilted jacket.
Judith's making a quilted jacket for Zip, her daughter.
Yes, and then I'm giving the leftovers to Helena, and she's going to make a vest out of what remains. So there it was, and I often make these kind of utility strip style where you just join it end to end and then side to side.
Yeah, so Judith is making the fabric and then she's going to cut the pieces out of this. She's not cutting up a quilt. She's made this specifically to cut into a garment.
If you look closely, you can actually see that I've outlined the pattern pieces for the jacket. But I'm going to quilt it before I cut them out.
Good idea.
So, sort of, you can see on the back
There's the jacket.
that, there's the sleeves.
Yeah.
So, but when I was cutting those out, and this is a bit left over, which is going to be, which is going to be like pockets. When I was cutting those out, I cut some of them the wrong size. So then I joined those ones up separately, and I've used some of them.
Look at this, it's so beautiful.
Which, both of these batiks got pulled for a particular quilt. I only used a bit of the blue.
Love batiks.
And then when I did these greens, it very quickly became this.
The colours are beautiful. I do like dual colours.
Yeah, me too. They're my favourite, I will work with any colours. There is not a colour that I haven't used. But the deep jewel colours, clear colours, those are my favourite. So, did you make a quilt without fabric? And I have a humongous selection, bigger than most shops. You see under here, these are 12-litre containers, which originally came with dividers, but I decided to get rid of the dividers. And I have like 70 of these boxes.
70.
And I have big boxes. I couldn't fit them all in this room. I've got some somewhere else.
They are categorised though.
Yeah, roughly. For instance, over here, won't actually lift any, but the top ones are green and those ones are blue. And here's a colour set: black and whites, red and orange, more orange yellow, reds and pinks, purples, and then more pinky purples. This one is kind of like people and music and games and food, especially all the fruits there, and then all the other, some of it's in this box as well. And down the bottom is like boy stuff.
Quite a nice collection of novelty prints too.
Fire engines and things. So those are all novelty prints.
Do you have a favourite designer or type of fabric?
There are a lot of really good designers. I love Stoff shadow style. I really like Maywood does a really nice Jason Yenta in the beginning. He's fabulous. Juicy Juice, especially his ombre line, was one of my favorites. I've got some hand-dyed fabrics in here from
Your hand-dyed fabrics.
yeah, fabrics
Yes.
that I hand-dyed like 25 or so years ago.
Yeah.
Most of them are not sort of with any sort of design, but here we were experimenting using candle wax to see if we could get a batik-y effect.
Yeah.
And
I made a whole quilt with Judith's hand-dyed fabrics.
and if you look closely at it, you
Isn't
see
it beautiful? I can see a house.
Well,
Yeah.
it was intended to be a house,
Yeah.
but done just with a candle, not with a batik. I forget what they're called. That was an experiment.
And do you prefer 100% cotton, or you don't mind a mix?
I like 100% cotton the best.
Me too.
That's always my favorite. And I don't tend to use solids. I like tone on tone, but not really solids. And then I've got all the stuff from before I was making quilts, like lace and more lace.
Judith is a perfect collector, I tell you. She has
I've got flannelettes over here.
and
I've got
buttons,
yeah. I've got buttons
cottons.
up there, and more buttons up there. There's some really cute. If you look at that one, you can just see the pencil-shaped buttons.
Yeah, all the things you need to make quilts.
Yeah,
And some clothes, because you have made clothes too.
Well, yeah, I was making clothes. I don't know, for 40 years. Yeah, my daughter's turning 40. It's I really sort of before that was just doing like little toys and stuff. But when she was a baby, I started making clothes and things for her. So it's around 40 years, and I was making lots and lots and lots of clothes. And I especially like, you know, like stretchy fabrics.
Judith
So
likes
everything that I wear just about is a
stretch.
stretch, a knit fabric. Yeah. They're the best.
Yeah. And Judith has this fabulous quilting machine that she shares with me sometimes.
Yes, partly
Oh,
loaded.
this is a fabulous machine.
Piles of sort of work in progress because I haven't done very much quilting for a bit.
So Judith does mainly machine quilting?
Yeah, mostly. And as soon as I saw this, and I've had it for nearly 15 years.
I know, I was with you when we were seeing it.
Yeah, I saw it at the quilt show
Yeah.
in Darling Harbour, I think it was at the time. And I knew immediately that this was what I wanted. I'd seen long arms and stuff, but I didn't want to be standing up to quilt. And this is just like using a sewing machine, except it's got no feed dogs.
Yeah, it is perfect. I love it.
So the needle goes up and down. You move the fabric freely under it, and you know, it just quilts easily, and yeah, it's very simple, very sort of fun to use.
It's great.
There's not a lot of maintenance. You just have to, you know, every so often clean. You know,
Judith's really good at cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep the stuff in good order.
Something that is handy that I quilted partly before I had this machine and partly after I got it. So this was fabric that I hand dyed, like I said, at least 25 years ago. And I began quilting this in 2002. And then I stopped halfway.
It's a long-term project.
And I finally finished it January
It's
of
lovely,
this
isn't
year.
it? It's like kites. What did you call this one?
Rainforest.
Mm.
Because,
Leaves,
these kind of, I was thinking of butterflies.
Yeah.
So I quilted butterflies around them. So the butterflies were from the original quilting, and sort of these sort of tree bark sort of shapes were from the original quilting, and all of these round things, all of that's new. The multicolored threads.
Yeah, Judith does like quilting with coloured
This
threads.
is also some of the new bit.
It's beautiful.
It's
lovely.
Down here I did some more. This was also new bit down here. And this sort of grassy.
Lovely colours.
So it's just, you know, what I feel like. I tend to make plans. I've got to do this and this and this. And then I start quilting and my hands have completely different ideas, and I just, you know.
Yeah.
I just go with whatever. Now under here, a quilt in progress, which is one of my sort of styles that I do every so often. It's kind of like flexible hexagons.
Somewhat like my wall hanging that I'll show you in a while.
Yes, except with hand-dyed fabrics.
Yeah.
Is a pile or multiple.
Oh, it's lovely.
Couple of dozen piles of fabrics, which is semi-sorted. Like, you know.
I can see.
Animals
Reds.
and sort of people things, and there's actually two sort of animals up top and some food down there, and then there's red, yellow and orange, green, blue, purple, pale neutrals, dark neutrals.
Yes, so you can see Judith is a perfect collector. She doesn't think, do you think of yourself as a collector?
Not really, because I collect in order to use. I've got this immense fabric collection, which is way more than I'm ever going to get to do in my lifetime. You know, if I would live 300 years, maybe.
I don't know.
I once figured out that I had enough fabric to make 600 quilts.
Whoa.
And
I could see you doing it though.
And I make like 20 or 30 a year.
You do.
And I buy new fabric every so often.
Well, you know, so how do you think about the fabric when you go to buy some fabric?
It's just what catches my eye. If I see something that is like colors that I want. Well, for instance, I actually just got this little bag of goodies just this week.
I love it when Judith goes shopping.
From Have and
Yes,
Fab.
let's have a look.
And so, you know, I was just looking at their website.
Whose
Their
website?
fabric is really cheap. Have and Fab.
I've never heard of it.
You know, when we go to the show and there's this stall that has like fabrics you can get like meter pieces, and they're like half the price of anywhere else.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have like designer fabrics like Tulip Pink.
Yes, we're going to the quilt show soon.
Yeah.
Next month.
So I got these colours which I liked.
Beautiful.
And I don't have very much pink left because I've used a lot of it recently, so I thought I'll get this pink.
Yeah.
This one is an ombre.
Oh, wow.
It's sort of dark to light to dark. They only had it in this colour, which brown is not my favourite colour, but I do use it sometimes, so I thought I'll get, because I love ombres.
Yeah.
This one's kind of an unusual shade. This kind of like
doilies.
Yeah, but really I got it more for the colour.
Yeah.
I do like the kind of intricacy of the design.
I love that mustardy colour.
The only thing is that when you're working with something very regular like this, if you're not really careful to cut along the lines,
Can look jagged.
it can be sort of very noticeable. I got more of this because so cute.
That is very cute. Nice colours.
And but I'll probably use it as a backing.
Do you know Joanne's going out of business?
Yeah, I think
That's
didn't
sad.
they already?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So I got two of these French Impressionist painting
Oh,
ones just because they had them, and I'd been
Monet.
Yes, this is Monet.
Mm.
I'd been looking at a different one, and kind of
You could frame the whole
thinking for ages, I'll get that one, get that one. I
Yeah.
never did.
Yeah.
So when I saw these, I thought, well, you know, this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know if I'll kind of keep it as it is. I might cut it. I think it's kind of like a color mix that would cut up well.
Yeah.
And
A lot of nice greens.
yeah. And then here's the other one of those, which is a bit more pictorial, but still French Impressionist, so very...
Oh, I love it.
people and boats.
Well, these are my colours, just mud. The boats are in mud, but aren't the colours just beautiful? And the people.
Yeah, these
It's
are
just
much
lovely.
more your colours than mine, but
Yeah.
like I said, I can use anything and will and do. And that's why sort of sometimes I get stuff just because I think, oh, I don't have anything that's got those colours in it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just the design kind of. But this particular batch I got mostly for the colour.
So what do you think about colours when you're looking at the fabric?
Well, I know pretty much what I have and what I don't have.
Yeah.
You know, although every so often something gives me a surprise. Chevrons are good because I often do like bindings out of them. And this is just a nice colour mix. And
Oh, I've had this one, but I think in a different colour.
yeah, I actually thought it was a bit more grey than this on the website. But it's a very useful colour, these kind of greyed sort of fabrics. And the last one I got was this red.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I made a red and white quilt, and I got quite a lot of reds from Judith.
The red I really like though is this. I love this French General red.
It is beautiful. It's coming up really red on my camera. But
Yeah.
it's not really that. It's not really that
It's
red.
not really that red at all.
No.
It's
really
see, I used some of it over there.
Yeah.
And it really featured in this puppy quilt.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of it there, and this is not actually quite the same fabric as that one. This I had like about 10 inches of it with the fabric left. So that was kind of enough to...
So the fabrics are sort of like paints, aren't they, with the colours and everything? Do you think like that?
Yeah, fabric is like paint, but it also has like inbuilt texture.
Yeah.
So, you know, spots, tone on tone, that's also tone on tone, kind of irregular, painterly. They're kind of all things that I really like, and sometimes I just like, here, these two are folded up together because the colours are very similar, but the texture, the visual texture is very different. This is so intricate and this is so bold, and I think, well, that would be interesting put together in a quilt.
Yes.
So then I just, and every so often I make bindings so that I have
bindings are very handy.
a selection ready to...
Yeah. So you've got a nice collection also of bindings.
Yes. So I just, a lot of these are like stripes of various kinds, or this one actually was for a particular quilt. and I did the whole 1/2 meter, so I've got enough to make another small baby quilt. So sometimes I have a particular thing in mind, and sometimes I just look through my fabrics and think, what do I feel like slicing up for binding? That's how this one got done, and it might sit there for a long time before I use it, or it might become something that I sort of use immediately. I had a whole end of roll of this. I had meters and meters of it, and now there's very little of it left. And I've used this one so many times. Keep adding more to that. And so, as you can see, I have different colors, different sort of brightness. Some are very sort of bold and some are very subdued, and it's just whatever I need. Some of these are leftovers from previous quilts, and some of them, like I said, I just thought, oh, this would be a nice binding. I'll probably get around to using it at some point or other.
Yeah.
I like to cut my binding strips 2.5 inches. When I began quilting, 2 1/4 was the norm, and I sort of used to do that, but I found that I like 2.5 better. So
I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I like it. It's a
good
little
fold
bit
over
wider,
size.
and it just pleases me.
Yeah.
I don't really want to show you fully this quilt, but I'll show you a bit of it because it's entering it in the show, so they don't want everything to be, you know,
Judith's got
seen on social media.
Yeah, Judith's got 2 quilts in this show. That's the Quilters Guild show. It's an annual thing that we have.
Well, I don't know because I've only just put them in. I'll see.
I'll just show you the corner of it.
Yeah, so this one is kind of log cabin-y, but I decided to use some of my laces.
Yes, Judith has a good collection of Brodera Anglaise laces.
Yeah.
A nice collection of laces, really,
lace.
and some vintage. You know, it's beautiful.
So I just kind of grabbed them and put them randomly together, sort of joined end to end.
I'm sure they're from the 80s because I made my girls' dresses with Brodera Anglaise.
Yes, they were quilts that they were sort of little girl clothes that I was making when my girls were my lace containers, my lace boxes are a little bit full.
Judith collects laces
to get stuff out of. And I've got, this was Anthea Crawford lace, very expensive,
beautiful
lace for dresses. So I just have mixtures, various kinds, and not all of them have been kept perfectly well. Like
look, even the bag is vintage.
How this one was kept somewhere and it got a bit, and it really needs a good wash before it's used. But some of them are really pretty and unusual ones.
That is beautiful.
That's insertion lace.
Yeah, for ribbon.
Yeah, so all different sorts. And way back, when I was making clothes, I decided to make myself a little logo, but I didn't use very much of it. And I called it Bagels and Raisins. That was what I was gonna. And then some of them are really wide. Like, look at that.
Isn't that lovely?
So,
Judith, I think you're the perfect collector. I think we are very good friends and, you know, kindred spirits here all together.
I'm always happy to share.
And thank you so much for being in my video. And I'll see you again soon.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Judith. I've been knitting this cardigan for a fair while. Well, a week. I love it. It is so soft. It's a vintage pattern, a Gucci pattern from New Zealand. I've had it for a long time, and it is called the crew neck reverse stocking stitch sweater with panels of lattice stitch. That's what it's called, and that's what it looks like. So it's going to have set-in sleeves. It is a jumper pattern, but I'm making it as a cardigan, and I'm knitting the button band as I go and hope the numbers all add up when I'm finished. The yarn I'm using is Holscarn. I love Holscarn. This is Luca, and the color is Cactus. And this is Super Soft, and the color is Willow. I hope I've got those around the right way. I think I have. But yeah, Cactus and Willow. But the color is a beautiful sage green, and I love it, and I just hope it fits when I've finished. We'll see how it goes. So I will have to knit a neckband and the 2 sleeves, and I've had to order more of the Luca because I've run out. I've already used 5 balls. I've got 1 more left. I'm halfway through the back, and I haven't got any left for the sleeves, but I do have cones of the Super Soft, a cone, so should be okay. Just hope. And it doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same dye lot, because it's going to just meld together with the Super Soft, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's my big modification, turning a jumper into a cardigan. Love the colour and love the feel, so that's good, isn't it? I'm hoping it'll stretch a bit. Feels okay. I think the yarn holes are big enough. How's the back look?
Looks good.
Is it long enough?
Yep.
And just want to look at the neck.
The fingerprints on the devil card match the ones you liberated from the fair.
Presumably belonging to Simeon Daggett. His
It's the 22nd of May 2022, and we have had a week and a half of heavy rain and high winds, and this morning it is just bucketing down. It's been raining all night. Can't see the ocean. It's just so much rain. And this big banksia tree out in our back garden is always full of flying foxes at night, and I'm just wondering how these flying foxes manage, when it's pouring rain like this for weeks, manage to get out every day, because they have to go out every night and most of the night and forage for food. I'm just wondering how they do it and get back home without getting drowned. It's just amazing. So much rain we're having. It's pouring. It's coming from the north now, and they've just had a lot of flooding up north. And now it's going to flood here in Sydney. It's very windy too. The 27th of May. And this morning in Sydney here, we're at the coast, dust has blown in from out west, and we have a dust storm, which is really unusual. It's very warm today because of the dust, and you can see it over the ocean. It's just a lot of dust. They say the air quality is poor. I'm not sure. We haven't had a dust storm like this for years. And the red dust comes in everywhere and just settles, and you can see it migrating Earth. That's the ocean there. We can't see the ocean anymore because of the red dust. It's very interesting, isn't it, how these things happen? But yeah, thought you would like to have a look at that. Kitty's here looking out the window at the dust that's coming over. Hopefully it'll rain and dust will settle. We'll see what happens. That's it for this week, friends. Thank you for coming to see me. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and leave a comment. Please leave a comment, because I like to know where you live and how your crafting is influenced by your weather, by the type of things you like to do. If any of my things that I make appeal to you too, and yeah, and if I can ever help you with any of the crafting questions that you might have, knitting and quilting wise. Well, maybe not the knitting, but quilting wise, please feel free to ask. I'm always here, and thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye, friends.